Hey guys, what's going on? This is Bruce L for GamerIndepth, right here with my review of Breath of Fire 4 for the PlayStation Network, PS3 if you will. And I just have to say this, I just want to talk to you guys real quick about, my time with RPGs back in the day, of course, versus now. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with a lot of RPG games. I grew up with, Dragon Warrior. I grew up with the Final Fantasies, and then, of course, the Phantasy Star. Well, it really wasn't so much as growing up with the Final Fantasy games, even though I pretty much recognized that those games actually exist for the Super Nintendo. But the thing of it was that what most people didn't realize is that the Final Fantasy series wasn't really that popular at that time. It wasn't really that popular, man, because the Phantasy Star series pretty much overshadowed that. But when the PlayStation released, you had Final Fantasy VII, and that's when pretty much everyone kind of like jumped on the Final Fantasy series bandwagon, if you will. And of course, I recognize all the, the fans out there that really like the Final Fantasy series, and no doubt I like it too. It's no problem at all. And one cannot, one can't deter the fact that Final Fantasy VII really evolutionized, if not revolutionized, the RPG formula, if not the genre, if you will, and that's just, man, because it really needs that. Because really, regardless of whether or not if we really enjoyed Secret of Mana or if we really enjoyed the Chrono Triggers out there, the bottom line is that those games was good, but they weren't selling over compared to like the Phantasy Star games, so. And personally, for me, I love the Phantasy Star games. It was absolutely superb. I might even do a review on that next time, but that's just me, just talking off the yin-yang right now when it comes to ideas. But when it comes to the Breath of Fire series, okay, the Breath of Fire series was, it was pretty much, it's, Capcom's flair, if you will, because I don't really remember most of Capcom's RPGs, aside from Breath of Fire, of course. But what I really did like about the Breath of Fire series is that how it pretty much set its own tone, if you will. Because for starters, you had the music. The quality of music is actually really good. The graphics and the way how the game is played in a certain perspective is really nice. The attack animations are really cool, and of course, how the main character Ryu can be pretty intricate, if you will. He has a pretty interesting character, if not intriguing. He's actually from a race of dragons. I'm not even so sure about that, but you can possibly Wikipedia that or something. But in any event, of course, Breath of Fire 1 and 2 was, of course, with Super Nintendo, and Breath of Fire 4, which is now released on the PlayStation 3, or rather the PSN or PlayStation Network. The game is actually pretty much you would consider, a rare game because you can't really find it nowadays on the, for the PS1. So you can actually purchase it for $4.99, and in actuality, it's not really a bad game at all. It's really not. Compared to Breath of Fire 3, which of course has been a fan favorite. Everyone loves that game. Personally, for me, I favor 4 over 3, but that's not to say 3 is bad. But what I do like about Breath of Fire 4 is that the game is really, really punishing. Surprisingly enough, it is punishing. It is very punishing, but it also opens up, your, pretty much some channels in your mind to simply just really take the time, invest in it. You can't really breeze through it like you can most RPG games or any other game for that matter. So Breath of Fire 4 was really good for for what it was, and of course, the game starts off, of course, with the character Nina. She's actually one of them, another reoccurring character in every Breath of Fire game. She's in it this time, but what I really start to notice is how the game really truly shows its outdatedness. Because first of all, for a character to have wings, you mean to tell me you can't jump? You can't fly? This is just ridiculous. There's some scenes that's going to recall for it. It's like, just jump or just fly, if you will. So it didn't make no sense. And of course, you have Ryu, who's also another reoccurring character in the game. He's actually a silent protagonist, if you will. He's always been that silent protagonist in every Breath of Fire game, and that's one thing I don't necessarily like because because granted, and this is something what Suikoden has done. Granted, the game is really fun, and you're actually seeing it from an overview perspective of the world, and not let alone just from that character. But at the same time, you're not really, even though that unlike Suikoden 2, Breath of Fire 4, you're really adding onto the character, more of the character depth, but not so much as the personality, if you will. And that what truly lacks in Breath of Fire. The character personality is just not there. You just know of the character. You move him around. You definitely know what he can do. You know what he's capable of, or you can actually feel his, his anger, sadness, happiness, whatever. But the thing of it is that there's no character personality, and to pretty much call him, pretty much give him his own identity. So really, it's kind of like, wow, do I really like this guy, or do I really love this guy? I mean, can I even say, oh, you know what I'm saying? I mean, overall, he's just a character I play with in the game. That's just from my perspective. That's just for me. But if you really have a fan base for review out there for Breath of Fire 4, then pretty much give me a shout out here on the, it's in the comment line. But the thing of it is this: the game's, system, the combat system, of course, is pretty much kind of like Breath of Fire 3. It's pretty much like every other Breath of Fire game. But what I do like, okay, is the combo system in the game. All right, of course, you can what you can do is like you can actually combine, skills with magic, magic with skills, vice versa, skills with skills, magic with magic. For instance, at the early of the game, you can actually learn the spell Burn. All right, and Nina, who actually has the magic spell Sever, which if you actually cast both of those, one character will start off with Burn, and what happens is that her attack changes from being Sever, which is a wind-based attack, into Firewind, which is actually an area-based magic attack, and that's combined with fire and wind, and that deals a little bit more damage. Towards anyone that's actually around that that area effect. So it's actually pretty cool. It's not too bad at all, and it actually encourages you to actually explore a whole lot of combos in the game. All right, you have like 6-8 characters you can actually recruit, so it's not too bad at all. The replay value is there. Everything in the game is pretty much a mini game. I'm not even gonna lie to you, and that's where the game pretty much goes downhill, because it forces you. Because what it is like there's an item that if you need in the game, there's an item you're gonna need in the game that basically you have to progress in the story, and the game forces you to either play that mini game for you to actually progress through progress in the said story, or you just won't progress at all. And that bogs down, with the storyline overall. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're really trying to progress into the storyline, you're not going to do it. I mean, because 9 times out of 10, the average RPG player is probably going to progress. They're going to try to get that item to play that mini game. They probably spend like hours and hours on that mini game alone. They're not progressing in the storyline. So I think that's where, in a sense, the developers kind of like messed up a bit to me. But I don't know, what I'm saying? Then on top of that, it's the sheer difficulty of the game. You know what I'm saying? And the difficulty, it starts off pretty okay. It starts off okay. You play as the antagonist at the beginning of the game from his perspective. And, so you pretty much already, being prepared to understand how broken this game is, let alone how broken that character is. And personally, to me, I just felt, that could have been dealt without. The graphics was really cool. It gives it that Xenogears-esque sort of deal, even though that at that time, I favored Xenogears a bit more, but when it came to the graphics-wise, but, you can really see the outdatedness in the game now, you know what I'm saying? But you're not really playing the game for its graphics, you're playing the game for the quality, and the quality is not too bad at all. The story, like I said, the storyline, you can actually complete the game. You'll probably spend maybe like 100 hours in that game, not like 80 or 60. 60, I say the range 60 to 100 hours in the game, but I'm not going to spoil the ending for you. I'm not even going to spoil how it ends, but I would say this: it's one of the most confusing things ever in an RPG game, and I really kind of like think that Capcom they kind of veered off downhill a bit when it came to that perspective. But like I said, overall, overview. Game is actually superb. It's actually really good. If you really like, very challenging, RPGs, Breath of Fire 4 is right there for you. However, just please be prepared for the difficulty, the slow progression of the, in the story. And let alone, it's not even so much as the story, it's so much as there's everything in the game is a mini game. So, so pretty much you're going to be spending a lot more time playing mini games than rather playing actually grinding for levels and actually trying to understand what you can do when it comes to the battle system. So it's okay, but if you're a fan of it, that's cool. But Breath of Fire 4 does receive a 7.5 out of my book. So until then, guys, this is Brucel. Thank you for watching my review of Breath of Fire 4. Please check out GamerIndepth.net. Again, that is http:// I'm not even going to go through that. That's www.gamerindepth.net. Check Blue Cell out. And of course, you can never be too old to game. So until then, and I'm out. Pingus.